Story 1. Wasting time on things that don't really matter. I've started appreciating simple moments and people who make life feel lighter.
Yep, I don't make much money, but I also have a wonderful home with my beautiful lady. We have mostly boring days, where on nights after work we just snuggle on the couch and watch TV or play games or something. I wouldn't change anything for a thrilling life. There's beauty in the mundane.
Yesterday, when it was just me, my husband, and our nearly grown daughter watching the Super Bowl in our modest little house, I realized that is truly all I need. We laughed, ate shitty but delicious junk food, and made silly bets against each other. It was one of the most fun evenings of my life, and that's saying a lot since I am kind of old. How lucky are we that we don't need much to have a beautiful life?
Agreed. I get irritated now when people try to even hold me verbally hostage. I live with my cousin and love her to death. I come home from work all the time. My arms are all full, usually got some dinner in my hands. Trying to go set my stuff down, and she starts a long story. One time she talked about a chick at work that wouldn't let her get any work done because she was holding her hostage. I literally crack up as I'm backing away, thinking, like you're doing to me right now. I hate nothing more than someone roping you into something like spending the day moving or something. I have no problem helping you out. Just don't try to trick me into it. I don't want to get off work and spend 2 hours on the phone with you either.
Story 2. Social media. The algorithms are wired in a dirty way to hold your attention, and most of the content is pure brain rot with no point or meaning to be learned from it.
Remember when you only followed your friends on social media? Both of you had to agree to be friends, and you would only see their posts. Now my feed is full of people I don't know and adverts.
People who post things like, "Oh wow, look, my kid has punched a hole in my drywall. How can I fix it?" And when you check their profile, there are literally dozens of similar posts where something went wrong. Things that a lot of people know how to fix and will gladly respond to. It's pure traffic generation, and usually AI generated at that.
I barely ever go on Facebook. If anything, just to look at the marketplace. But I'm a white male in my mid-30s, so I guess my default Facebook feed just seems to be anti-trans, manosphere, right-wing bullshit. Kind of the same on YouTube. I've had to get a Firefox plugin that hides all recommended videos because it was Jordan Peterson crushing feminist compilations. Absolutely awful. I'm fortunate enough to be a lefty-arse Aussie who has had the wherewithal to form my own stance in life. I genuinely dread to think what hope impressionable young men who are exposed to the same media have.
Story 3. Noise. I never liked it, but I'm getting even grumpier about it in my old age. Music everywhere. People playing videos and music on their phones in public. Television's always on in the background. Why? What's wrong with a little quiet?
If someone ever remade Falling Down, I hope it starts with a guy pumping gas and just smashing one of those stupid little screens before walking away.
I've started to realize that a lot of my unhappiness as an adult is rooted in just being way overwhelmed by sensory stuff. Fluorescent lights are too much, and they're everywhere. Headlights are too bright, too. Everything is too loud. Crowds are extremely overwhelming. I literally only wear comfortable clothing now because it puts me in a bad mood if I don't. In a weird way, I feel like I'm regressing into being like 5 again. And I'm not old. I'm like 30.
My pet peeve, the obnoxious daytime TV garbage playing in waiting rooms at doctors' offices, hospital and outpatient waiting rooms, and other healthcare areas. People are sick, scared, in pain. Instead of soothing music, there's low-rent yelling and nonsense banter from moronic daytime TV shows. It really gets on my last nerve.
Story 4. It's probably how everything slowly turns into a subscription or a side hustle. When I was younger, it felt like you could just enjoy stuff. Now it's like hobbies, monetize it, hanging out, networking, rest. You should be more productive. I'm also starting to dislike how loud and performative people are online. It feels like everyone's either flexing, selling something, or pretending they've got life figured out. It makes it hard to tell what's actually worth caring about versus what's just trending this week. And hangovers. Absolute scam. They hit different now, and I'm only in my early 20s. Curious if this is just growing up or if everyone else is feeling this too.
Complaining about hangovers in your early 20s is the most adorable thing I've seen on the internet in a while, and I watch a lot of kid videos. Wait until you have a hangover from just existing.
I'm 34.
This morning I was hungover because last night I thought about how fun having a few drinks would be.
I'm 64, and I'm here to tell you, do not lose the things that bring you joy and don't try to monetize them. Joy for the sake of joy is what makes life worth living. And life is both too short and too long to live without it. My joy comes from being in nature. So I love gardening and just getting outside, music, making it, listening to it, and spending time with family and friends. It has never come from my profession, even though I love my job. Job and life are two separate things, always.
Story 5, Life and People in General. I'm an older adult, and I've found that as I've gotten older, I'm starting to understand my 93-year-old grandmother's statement before she passed. How tired she was of being alive. We're not here to make much of a difference, and those who do are few and far between. Growing up, I wanted nothing more than to make the world a better place and have a legacy. However, that caused me to adopt a live-to-work mentality that's absolutely toxic. I struggled with a lot of depression back in my younger days and missed out on enjoying life. Now, in my middle age, I am relearning how to live my life in a way that makes me happy. At the end of the day, learn to let go and not give any fucks. People and life suck. Do what makes you happy. Don't set yourself up thinking you will somehow make a difference. Life is short, and in 100 years, no one will remember any of us. Embrace the present.
I really resonate with this because I've been on a similar journey. I really wanted to change the world. In that pursuit, I got absolutely crushed by a person of authority in my work environment, and it just shifted my whole perspective on life. I realized I had sacrificed a lot of things that felt selfish relative to the greater good I was pursuing, leaving me in a really fucked up position. But the silver lining is that part of it was undiagnosed neurodivergence. All that, plus being able to remove the mask from within, so to speak, has made me feel like I'm entering an entirely new era. I just wish that era had a little bit of that energy from my 20s, huh?
There is purpose, though. Your own purpose. Do we really care what happens 10 seconds after we're dead?
No.
Then it's now that counts. Having a good life, whatever that means.
Man, that is the way I see life, and I'm only 28 years old. Now it feels like everything is meaningless, as if there's no purpose anywhere.
Story 6. How ego-driven and egocentric everyone has become. I think it's important to be confident, to love yourself, and to enjoy life, but nowadays everyone suffers from main character syndrome to a fault. You are always going to be the main character in your life, obviously, and you should be romanticizing your life every step of the way whenever possible. But I notice people easily inconvenience others in the process. People will hold up lines, distracted on their phones or taking pictures, and disregard the people behind them. People act annoying and seek attention whenever they're out in public. People take, and never give anything back to the people around them. Everyone claims that they are so unique and different, but they obsess over trends and consume the same things that everyone else is consuming. They do whatever it takes to get it. Like when people were beating each other up at the supermarket to get Stanley Cups and Trader Joe's tote bags. We've grown to become such a selfish, self-centered, inconsiderate, and out-of-touch society. Story 7. Change. When I was a kid, I used to love the idea of change, the idea of excitement. Have you played Zelda, Ocarina of Time? When I was younger, I felt like the guard in the golden age of Hyrule who lets you break crates and just wished that something would happen to make the world more exciting. That's what the world felt like back in the 90s. Boring and unexciting. Now though, every other day is exciting, and it is terrible. I feel like we are currently in the dark age of Hyrule, after Link pulls out the sword. Story 8. Work. Why are most of us giving up 5 days a week for only 2 days we can do what we want with? Why are most of us giving up 50 years of life to be secure for the remaining 15 or 20 years, if you're lucky? In those last 15 to 20 years, we are too worn out and decrepit to enjoy the things we would have spent the 50 able years doing instead of working.
I've always said one of the upsides of the pandemic is that it showed the ability for many jobs to be worked remotely successfully. And some of us were lucky to finally obtain a work-life balance because of it. It's the closest to peace one can get, knowing we're all running the rat race at the end of the day.
Story 9. I really don't like to socialize as much. I find it gives me less meaning. Maybe because of the political climate and realizing that more than half the country voted for this. It's hard to let that go, honestly. Story 10. Loud, pointless drama, unlistening people, and everything that wastes time without the benefit of peace or significance. Story 11. Social media influencers. We're on to you. We know it's all about how much you can make off of it, and frankly, we don't care about your paid opinion. Story 12. People and loud music. After long days at work, I just want to rest from everyone's bullshit. I lost some friends because I don't go out that much with them, but it's worth it for my rest and recovery after dealing with everyday bullshit. Story 13. I hate saying this, but hanging out with friends. All I want to do on my day off is sleep in, take care of myself, and do the shit I enjoy. Not go somewhere with a friend who either talks about the same old shit or is starting to grow apart from me, and spend money on food that I probably could have made at home.
But be careful. Something I've learned is that almost everything worth having requires work of some sort. And how much you get out of life in the end is largely a measure of how good you are at sucking it the fuck up and putting in that work on days when you don't want to. Friendships are no exception. They're not always fun to maintain, but if you just bail and stay home one too many times, you might find yourself without any other options.
The party friends get boring when all they do is drink too much, gossip, or start fights. Frankly, I have better things to do, so I'll just stay home instead. As I've gotten older, I've realized that I don't have much in common with them anymore, and I don't find them funny or enjoyable to be around. I'm not going to force myself to be around people who make me feel bored or anything negative. I have more fun by myself.
Yes, the party friends. Just become disabled and you'll see them scurry away like the rats they are. I have some stories about the party friend types. They're typically very self-involved.
Story 14. I'm just 23, but I hate LinkedIn, work culture stuff, and job application processes more and more every day. Story 15. Media. It feels like everything is getting dumber because no one has an attention span anymore. Story 16. The mall. It stinks. Parking blows. It's loud. It's bright and flashy. And people walk in slow horizontal lines, blocking whole aisles.
I'm in the opposite boat. I remember when the mall used to always be busy. Now, my hometown mall is depressing. So many stores have shut down, and they even got rid of the food court. It's only a matter of time until the whole place shuts down. It makes me sad.
You still have a mall? Be grateful, my good person, if you do.
Same. I don't even know how the mall is still open in my area. No joke, it has room for 120 stores, but only has 15 open locations, all in one cluster. It's falling apart. Even the food court is completely shut down. The roof is starting to collapse, and it smells like mildew. The only classic mall stores still open are Spencer's and Hot Topic. The rest are mom-and-pop locations looking for cheap rent. The place should have been torn down almost a decade ago. It makes me sad for my childhood.
Story 17. In the USA, politicians, all of them, Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Free Staters, all they want is power, and none of them care a hoot for you or me. Story 18. I dislike the sinking feeling that I have, that all the hard work I put into securing a comfortable future will probably all go to waste because of economic mismanagement, preventable wars, and uncontrolled climate change. Story 19. Stupid people. As I get older, I'm starting to realize how much of my time is taken up dealing with stupid people. Story 20. Having to do a lot of things by myself without my parents. It's so scary to be on your own.
As I get older, I'm starting to realize more and more that I've grown into an adult, learning how to do everything on my own. I've learned how to be a mother on my own. I've learned how to be a wife on my own. And even before those things, I found my first place on my own, bought my first car on my own, learned how to pay bills on my own. It's really sad when I think about it, but I'm grateful for it all because it has allowed me to love my husband and children deeply and to educate my children well, so that when they go out into the world, they will be more prepared than I ever was.
Story 21. Repetition. doing the same things over and over. Cutting grass is the bane of my existence. Story 22, loud vehicles.
Lifta vehicles.
Actually, modified vehicles that make them obnoxious and get in the way. Swan gas look cool on the front of a rap album, not when they're weaving through traffic. Story 23. Alcohol, people who have personal issues but refuse to get help and subject everyone else to their shitty attitude and behavior, not getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, how corrupt modern society is if you're not rich, and the newer LED headlights that every car seems to have that blind you. Story 24. Just noise and voices in general. Everywhere there's a battle going on, dying for your attention and opinion. Culture wars, office politics, real politics, it's just never ending. Social media has given everyone a voice at the same time, and now it's like being in a crowded room where everyone is screaming. Story 25. Gambling. I loved it as a youngster. I think it's gotten totally out of hand and destructive now. Story 26. Society as a whole. Sometimes I wish I could just go bumming off into some uninhabited place, build a nice little cottage, and live there. Story 27. Going out drinking in loud places till late, trying to chase or please women. I've stopped caring and I'm just myself. Take it or leave it. Story 28. For real. It's definitely people. Donald Trump has proven to me that at least half of this country is stupid. Story 29. Being around people. Even 10 years ago, I loved shopping, going to busy restaurants, even just walking through busy parks. The older I get, and the worse American society gets, the less I can handle being around people. When I get home from work, all I want to do is shut myself in my house and pretend my husband, our son, and I are the last 3 people on the planet. To sum it up, people suck. Leave me alone. Story 30. Humans in general. I love animals, old cars and airplanes, my bourbon, my family, and about 3 of my neighbors. Story 31. Loud noises like loud motorbikes or cars, screaming kids, barking dogs, people talking loudly, especially when they have their phone on speaker. Why would you? Loud music, usually rubbish music, blaring over shop speakers. Yep, I'm old. Story 32. Toddlers throwing a tantrum in public. I used to tolerate them, but now I hate them. Story 33. Younger people's opinions, especially here on Reddit. It's all or nothing. There's no trying to understand other people's views. It bothers me because I'm more of a fence sitter. I see both sides of almost all things. If I try to share the opposite side of an argument, just so they can have a sliver of understanding, I'm knocked down. Story 34. Social gatherings and pretty much people in general. I mean, I love my family and friends and everything, but being burned out from a job where I need to fake being a hardcore extrovert, I'd prefer to just sit at home rather than go to some social event. Story 35. I'm getting notifications on my phone. Every group chat is muted so that I can just catch up when I have time, and I no longer have push notifications on for any app besides texts with individual people. I don't want to hear my phone beep every 2 seconds. I don't want to sort through friend requests every few days, and I don't want messages coming through constantly with the expectation that I'll respond quickly or in real time. In high school and college, I'd always have some active conversation going on with someone, but I couldn't imagine doing that now. If I'm going to have a conversation with someone over the phone, I want it to be straight to the point, like when and where are we meeting up? What are the details? Etc., so that I can get back to doing other things. Story 36. When I was a kid, I knew logically that I wouldn't live forever, but I didn't know it emotionally. Now I do. Story 37. People who replace you with you in sentences that include fully typed much larger words. Story 38. Any bodily noises, especially if they're loud or unnecessarily gross. Loud sneezes, chewing with your mouth open, clearing your throat, etc. Story 39. The level of corruption. We've passed the point of no return in business to government indecency across all parties, at least in my time left. I just hope people wake up eventually and realize how badly they're getting played. Story 40. People who walk purposefully into shops and then immediately pause just beyond the doorway. Story 41. People who type in shorthand, as if their phone provider is charging by the letter.